you're going to find the standard or benchmark. For example, the coach, which would be the teacher, will find a play, draw it up, present it to his, say, team, which would be the class, and see if they can present it in a way that's easy to learn.
Part 2. A performance assessment is the type of testing where the students are to perform a task rather than select an answer. The teacher should make authentic, realistic context to make sure that the students can understand the material fully. So, if the coach will present the play to the students or the teammates, and they will actually get to perform it. Some students will catch on quickly, others will take a little longer, but they will actually get on the field and perform it.
Part 3. It's basically just teachers sharing the information with students and what they expect. Students have to know what they're going to be tested on. Think about it like this. A coach has to practice with his team before they can play the game. In the same way, students have to know what they're going to be tested on in order to perform accurately in the classroom.
Today, we're going to talk about summative assessment. Summative assessment is pretty much exactly what it sounds like, a summary. This is used to evaluate student learning at the end of an instructional unit by comparing it against some standard or benchmark.
Part 1. So, I'm sorry.
Hey, Mom? Yeah, I'm about to go take my driver's test. I didn't have time to study though because I don't feel very well.
30 minutes later.
Yeah. Mom, I didn't pass my driver's test.
Oh, it's okay, honey. You can take it again in 30 days.
30 days? That's so long.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody gets that way. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody gets that way.
Mom, I'm going to take the driving test again. I think I'm ready this time.
Julia Lawrence, are you ready?
Yes.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Okay, class, so now that we have completed our experiment, create a presentation over the results. I'll see y'all next class.
No idea. What are we supposed to do for a presentation?
I guess I'm just gonna put together just something. I don't know what he wants from us.
I wonder how long it's supposed to be.
I don't know. I hope I can get an A. I hope that I do everything I'm supposed to do. I have no idea. I don't know what I'm
How on earth are we supposed to know if he's not going to tell us?
I have no idea. Like, I don't know where to begin. I guess, okay, let's see.
You got those presentations for me?
Yeah, I think so. I hope
Okay,
so.
alright. Hopefully these students will be able to do what I was expecting of them. Although, it would have been easier if I had given them a way to assess what they're doing against what I was wanting. Let's try a different method where I help them set personal goals and a way to self-assess their work with a rubric. Okay, class. Now that we have completed our experiment, let's create a presentation over the results. I'm going to give y'all a rubric, and with this rubric, what it's going to do is it's going to lay out what I'm expecting for the assignment. And it's going to give y'all a way to, as y'all are working, y'all can look at the rubric and be like, okay, did I do this, or did I not do this, or is this something that I can maybe improve on?
Alright. Okay. there. Mr. Blake?
Mm-hmm.
So, by this, how does my title look as far as what you were wanting as far as?
Okay, so it just needs to, your title needs to be able to tell me what the experiment was about without having to read the whole thing. Just give me like an overview, kind of like a summary.
Right, okay.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any questions about the rubric?
I think it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear.
All right. Well, I'm gonna leave it with y'all until next class, okay?
All right,
And
thank you.
have a good rest of your day.
Thank
You
you.
too. I'm excited about this project.
Me too. I
I
know
know.
exactly what I'm gonna do, and I think it's gonna be, I think it will, once I'm finished, I'll have all the things that he
I
wants.
think so too. I think it'll be great. I'm excited.
Me too.
Assessing students before teaching is a critical component of effective learning. Let's take a look at how this would play out in a classroom.
Okay, class, today we're going to learn about the 5 senses. On the board, I've drawn our friend Kayla, and I'm going to give her some eyeballs. So what do our eyeballs help us do?
They help us see.
Good job, Kayla, that's right. Okay, so I've drawn the eyeballs on my friend Kayla here. Now on your paper, I want you to draw a body part that helps us with the 5 senses.
I'm done.
You're done? What did you draw,
I drew a
Kayla?
flower.
A flower, well, that's a beautiful flower. But today we're working on the 5 senses in our body parts.
Yeah.
What's a body part that maybe helps us hear?
Our ears.
Awesome, can you draw me an ear on your paper? Thank you. Kayla, what have you drawn?
I drew a nose.
Awesome, and what does the nose help us
It
do?
helps us sniff.
Very good, they help us smell everything. All right, can I see your ears that you've drawn now, Caroline? Oh, those are beautiful, awesome job. So I'm gonna draw those on our first on the board now. We have our nose. All right, it helps us smell. And Caroline drew us some ears that help us hear. Can we think of another thing that's on our face?
We have our mouth we can eat stuff with.
Good, our mouth, it helps us taste. And then there's one more, and we use it all the time.
Our hands.
Our hands, awesome. And what do our hands help us do?
I don't know.
They help us feel. All right, so we have our eyes that help us see, our nose that helps us smell, our mouth that helps us taste, our ear that helps us hear, and our hand that helps us feel. Good job, guys.
In this skit, we see the teacher assessing her students before instruction. She circulates the room to assess.
Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning.
Today we're going to be learning about shapes. Can you name a shape?
A diamond?
And that's a good one. Can you name something that's in the shape of a diamond?
Kite.
Kite? That's good. What else is in the shape of a diamond?
I play t-ball.
Do you
Play
T-ball?
t-ball. Yeah.
And so a T-ball field's in the shape of a diamond. Okay, Lindsay, you know how we've been learning about the shape of a diamond, and we talked about how T-ball fields were in the shape of a diamand. I want you to show me where home plate is on your field. Right here. Awesome. Now, where would first base be?
What we would have called autism back then. And level 3 is now more severe.
Can you connect home base to first base?
Okay.
Like you would if you were running?
I didn't know any of that. Because see, my son was diagnosed with severe autism.
That would be level 3.
Awesome. Now, where would second base
Now
be?
he's okay, and he's adapting very well to this. You know, I've tripled his therapy and stuff. So
Now, I want you to run first base to second base.
Well, functioning is different from the levels in autism because the stuff that does with autism doesn't.
So
always
where
have
would
different
third base be?
intellectual stuff.
Right
It has some social stuff. In repetitive stuff.
So now run from second to third.
So the autism,
He's got moderate then.
he may be only level 2. I mean, but like I'll talk about this, that the levels.
Good job. Now where do you go after you get to third base?
The difference
Home
ends up
run!
being in
Show me your home
treatment
run.
If you get them into early.
Wow, good job.
And it makes a huge difference.
Awesome job. So now what shape is this?
2.5.
A diamond.
A diamond. That's right. So now draw a line from home base to third base.
And there's a huge difference. Like an individual, even within level 1, an individual that's
So what does those two shapes
will
make?
often be just not even
Triangle.
A
You
triangle.
won't even know that they
triangle.
like there's probably 4 people.
Good job.
And we don't even
So Rachel, we're learning about the shape of the diamond, and I want you to get these different colored construction paper, and I want you to glue them along the outline of your diamond that I've drawn for you. Okay, you can begin.
Miss Virginia, what else is in the shape of a diamond?
Well, there's a kite, and there's a t-ball field, a yield sign.
What's a yield sign?
A yield sign is a sign that's yellow, and it means that the driver has to yield before the next person goes.
Teachers need to offer appropriate choices for the students in their classroom. Not all of your students will have the same learning styles.
Some students work best when given choices on projects, including things like making dioramas.
Or making an elaborate poster board about global warming. Beth here looks very happy because she's passionate about her choice of topic. You could also let your students make a shoebox model about the topic.
Some students love writing papers to explain what they know about the topic.
This is another student's idea for a paper that explains what he knows about Spain. You can also give the students the choice of doing an oral presentation. This is Becky, and she is running for 3rd grade student council. Good job, Becky.
Some kids excel at oral presentations.
Just look at this kid go. Some students would rather work in large groups. The buddy system may also be helpful when it comes to group projects.
The choices can be as simple as letting the students choose the book they read.
Or making modifications for the students in your classroom. So they don't end up like Billy here, frustrated because he can't read the book his teacher told the class to read. To make valid inferences about learning, teachers need to allow students to work to their own strengths.
It's not a fair assessment to choose a format that will favor some students and penalize others.
Teachers often put forth greater effort and provide higher quality work when given such a variety of choices.
Okay, boys and girls, so this week we've been learning about the 5 senses. So we're going to do a quick review over our 5 senses. What part of our body do we smell with?
Our nose.
What part of our body do we see with?
Our eyes.
What part of our body do we hear with?
Our ears.
And what part of our body do we feel with?
Our hands.
What part of our body do we taste with?
Our mouth.
Also this week in language arts, we've been talking about adjectives. So we're going to pair that with this lesson, and and we're going to talk about popcorn. So we're going to use some of our adjectives that we've been learning about to describe popcorn. So what's an adjective that describes how popcorn smells?
It smells like butter.
Good job. What's an adjective that describes how popcorn sounds?
It makes a popping noise.
What's an adjective that describes how popcorn looks?
It looks white. It's white usually.
What's an adjective that describes how popcorn tastes?
It tastes like salt.
What is an adjective that describes how popcorn feels?
It feels fluffy.
Okay, so now that we've decided how all the 5 senses are used, we're going to break up into pairs and use our 5 senses cards matched up with our picture cards, and place those on our mats and use those for our 5 senses.
Okay.
Mine's a cat.
Flower.
So you can hear cats.
Phones. You can touch a phone.
You can
Hear
smell a
music.
candle.
Taste watermelon.
You can see a bird.
Ooh, touch that blanket.
An airplane. Smell cookies. And you can smell a skunk. We're done.
Good job.
Oh. Okay, so today class, we're going to do a character analysis over Finding Winnie. So who knows what a character analysis is?
Is that where you give details of the character?
Yes, exactly. Good job. Okay, so we're going to start. Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
Do you have a rubric or something for us?
I do. Here's the rubric. I will hand this out to you. You can look at it, and it tells you exactly what I want you to do for our character analysis. Any more questions? And yes.
Okay, are there examples?
There are examples. You can go to findingwinnie.com and you can get examples from the book and how to, like, what the characters are, and you can use that in your character analysis. Okay. So class, today we're going to learn about character analysis. We're going to use the book Finding Winnie, and we're going to make a character analysis over the characters in Finding Winnie.
I have a question.
So anyways, back to what I was talking about. We're going to use a rubric and examples that we learned last week, and we're going to talk about Finding
I
Winnie.
have a question.
You didn't raise your hand. Yes, Kathleen.
When you said examples, like, do you have any more to show us?
We did this last week. Were you not paying attention?
I was paying attention.
Doesn't seem like it, because if you would have paid attention, you would have known that last week we did examples of this. So
That was a week
moving
ago.
on. So does anyone else have any questions? You can find your rubric. I've already given that out to you, so you should have it in your binders. And if you don't, then too bad. You don't get another one. So, any more questions? Okay, well, it's due tomorrow. Good luck.
Hi, my name is Kelsey Washburn, and I'm here with ASU News with a special report for all future teachers. When it comes to assessment, it is important to encourage self-assessment and goal setting. There are several ways to incorporate self-assessment, and we found that one of the most effective is by incorporating rubrics. Rubrics can help students become more effective at honest self-appraisal and productive self-improvement. Let's send it over to Haven and Olivia to discuss using a rubric for self-assessment more in depth.
Thank you, Kelsey. We are live in the classroom with General Education teacher Olivia Thresh, and we're going to talk about how to use a rubric for self-assessment. Olivia, can you explain how this rubric is set up?
A little bit about this rubric is that it's divided into 4 categories: title, labels, accuracy, and neatness, and those are the 4 categories that the students will be scoring in. They can be scored at 3, 2, or 1, 3 being the best, and then 1's the worst. And in each side of the boxes, there's 2 smaller boxes, And that's for the student to check off to make sure that they've completed the task, and then for the teacher to check off that the student has completed the task. Also, at the bottom, there's a comment area for the teacher to make any comments, and then goals and actions.
What are some pros and cons for teachers and students using this rubric?
A pro about this rubric would be the comment section, because teachers can leave feedback on what the students did right or wrong, so students will get immediate feedback to know how they did on the assignment. And a con of this rubric would be that with the two little boxes that you check off, it's kind of can become confusing on which one's for the teacher and which one's for the student, so that would be the only problem with this rubric.
Is there anything on the rubric you as a general education teacher would like to change?
There are a few things on the rubric that I would like to change. One, going back to the con that I said, the two boxes being a little confusing on which one's for the teacher, which one's for the student. I think that it would be a good idea to maybe change all the ones on the left side to blue and all the ones on the right side to green, and blue could be for students and green could be for the teacher. Also, another thing that I might change is the goals and actions down here. I like that, but I think that would be good to, at the top of the rubric, have the goals, like the objectives of this assignment that they're going to be doing, so that they know ahead of time what they need to be doing to complete the assignment.
Thank you for your time, Olivia. I'm Haven Staffel reporting live in the classroom with ASU News. Back to you, Kelsey.
Thank you, Haven and Olivia, for teaching us more on how to use a rubric for self-assessment. I hope this special report encourages all future teachers to incorporate self-assessment in their classroom.
Today we will teach how to assess students before teaching a lesson. This is a KWL chart. K stands for what they know, W stands for what do you want to know, and L stands for what they learned. Today's lesson is over parts of a flower. This is suggestions of what students might say for what they know. Students might say that they know that flowers have stems, petals, leaves, and roots. After that, we go back to see what questions students would have over parts of a flower. And questions that they might have is what each part does for a flower. Why does each flower have a different color? And how do flowers grow? And then after the lesson, we will go back to the L and see what students have learned from the activities overall. And what students might say is they now know what a stem does, they now know what the leaves do for a flower, they know what the roots do, and they know how the flower grows. Self-assessments discover what you're good at and where you may have room for improvement. There are different types like what kind of student are you, what's your learning style, which study habits can you improve, and how strong is your character. And now we are going to take one. You can answer the questions like how I care about doing well in school. Is it mostly true, sometimes true, or not true? I try my best in school each day. I do my homework. I understand things that I have read. I have things I need for class. I get along well with my teachers. I take good notes in class. I'm good at taking tests. I ask and answer questions in class. I am happy with my grades. And this student is a very good student. Great job, everybody.
To serve learning, feedback must meet 4 criteria. It must be timely, specific, understandable to the receiver, informed to allow for self-adjustment on the student's part.
All right, class, I'm passing out the exam. You've got an hour to take it. Make sure that you have enough space and that you're not looking off with your partner. All right, I have graded your tests, and here are your results. Be sure to come up to my desk if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.
3 days later.
All right, boys and girls, I'm passing back the test that we took on Tuesday. If you'll get out your red pen, we're going to go over it together as a class. If you'll just pass it to the person behind you.
Oh my gosh, I made 100. What'd you make?
A 75.
Why?
I don't know. I only missed one, and she didn't even tell me why I missed it.
All right, class, we're going to have student-teacher conferences over at my desk. So while we're having those, I want you to quietly start working on your homework for tonight. And we're just going to take a moment and discuss how you did on your last test and things that you could work on.
Mackenzie?
Just pull up a chair right here. Okay. You got a 75 out of the whole project. I really like the point that you made in this first paragraph. I feel like it really tied in with what the assignment was going for, and you made a really good key detail point down here at the bottom. But the second point that you made, it didn't really apply to what we were talking about, so I couldn't really give you credit for it. So that is really just kind of like where you are on that. If you have any questions.
I don't have any questions.
Okay, well, all right.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm passing back these tests, and they stink. If you don't do better next time, I don't know what we're going to have to do, but maybe just put you in the remediation class. Okay, class, I'm passing back our test retakes. Remember that this is going to count for 50% of your last test that y'all didn't do so well on. I hope you guys studied, because I'm really expecting a lot of you today.
Practice 7 consists of allowing new evidence to replace old evidence. Think about whenever you took your driver's test. Sometimes multiple attempts are needed. You are allowed to retake it as many times as you need in order to pass. Once you finally pass your driver's test, your license does not show how many times you failed. You simply just pass. This driver's license doesn't show how many failed attempts there were. You just passed.
In conclusion, teachers need to show criteria and examples so students know what exactly they need to do. We use evaluation tools like a rubric to show exactly what we want from them. We use models to help translate the rubric's abstract language into more specific, concrete, and understandable terms.
The end.